Hello everyone, I'm Diana from LuxProvide, and today we're here on our first edition of Expert Point of View, and we're here with Filipe Pais. Welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you very much. I'm doing well, Diana.
So let's dive right into the questions. So as we know, HPC, or high performance computing, is often seen as something complex and very niche. So how do you help customers translate supercomputing power into tangible business value?
HPC supercomputing normally are words that scares everybody. But in the end, it's only about hardware that was designed and that was fine-tuned to handle with large volume of data and to run complex models that could be mathematical, physical, or even artificial intelligence. I would compare that for example, like a race car. So you have a race car that was designed and fine-tuned to compete. And what is about that is about speed, it's about performance. The same happens with the supercomputer. So it was designed and it was made for speed. So it will help companies on having solutions at speed. And that is what is matter today.
So how do you envision customer success evolving as HPC services become more democratized and accessible?
Because today there is already a big network of supercomputers in Europe, like the one that we have in Luxembourg, so Luxina. And sometimes people think that they are difficult to access, but in the end probably is because or we are not communicating enough, or they are not asking the right questions. If you can have something that helps your R&D teams, your innovation teams to test, develop, and then come back very quickly with a solution, your company is more competitive in the market. In the end, democratization is something that needs to be in the head of everybody, because without the tools, the companies cannot be successul.
Now time for some quick fire questions. So you have to pick one.
Me.
So you just have to pick one without looking.
Okay. So you will need to read for me because I don't have my glasses.
Okay. So, best way to explain HPC to your parents?
To my parents, it will be difficult. My parents, I will tell them that you remember science fiction. When you have all these machines that were helping people to do things that they were not able to do. So I work in a company like that. So we have a big machine that solves a lot of problems for people that in the old times we are not able to solve.
Can you share an example now of a customer success story that has used HPC?
Well, I have many examples, but I have one that is probably close to my heart. So there is this startup. They develop an amazing model that helps them to do weather forecasting. This model is very complex and normally they use a lot of data because they do wind modeling. So they help companies that produces energy to forecast their production because they provide them forecast of the wind. This company was, basically looking for help because they needed something that could give them the power and the performance to run their models. So fortunately, they knock on our door and we start to work with them. First, we tried, to understand if our infrastructure could match their requirements. We deployed their model in our platform in Luxina. We did some tests. We helped them even fine-tune the model, and then they were able to run the model and with all the data that they have, and they were successfully able to provide the results to their customer. After that, this company realized that working with us, it's not only a matter of having, the performance, but it's also a matter of having the expertise on hand. And they are working with us successfully since 2 years.
So how do you communicate the value of HPC to companies that don't have a technical background?
Yeah, so this is a good question, man, because when you are talking with technical people, it's very easy to say, I have hardware that is fine-tuned, I have a lot of GPUs, I have InfiniBand, and they understand everything that we are talking. But when you are talking about business people, they care about what will be the impact of that on my company or on my business. And we need exactly to adapt that. And I was telling you a couple of minutes ago, in the end, it's about helping companies to be more effective, more innovative, and reduce time to market. So if I can tell them that, you have probably a challenge there is solutions for that challenge, and I can help you to implement that solution in a very fast manner in order that you have quick responses and you can react on time. That will provide you a benefit and a competitive advantage. And it's all about that, is speed, performance, and time to market.
Now, time for a second quick fire question.
Okay.
Yeah. So, one misconception about HPC you hear all the time. It's a good question.
That is the one that I hear every time. So, HPC, this is something very complex, only for people, for geeks, for people that has a lot of expertise. This is definitely a misconception. So HPC is for everybody. So like HPC is a supercomputer that was fine-tuned to help you to solve problems. In the end, anyone that has the technical knowledge can work on it. You will need guidance, like everybody. Like I was telling you previously, you have a race car, you need a driver.
Yeah.
Of course, any driver can drive it, but of course that you will need guidance to drive it correctly in a race track. So the same with the supercomputer. So, but it needs to be demystified that only people from universities, PhD can work with that. Everybody that is smart and wants to solve a problem can work with an HPC.
Even people without a technical background.
Even people without a technical background, probably with some guidance, and of course it will need to learn some stuff, but there is always things that you can do.
How does LuxProvide fit into Luxembourg's broader innovation and digital transformation strategy?
So when a country like Luxembourg wants to be a digital hub and wants lead by innovation, like for example leading in Europe with artificial intelligence, you need to invest in different areas to ensure that the people, the companies, the academic, the research on that country has the right tools to innovate, and on that case on artificial intelligence or in data science or simulation. So you need to help to create talent. Another one will be investment. So you need to help companies, researchers to have funds to do the research. The third one will be data, which is probably one of the most important, because without data you cannot do nothing. So you need to provide services to work on that data and to exploit that data. Another axe will be helping everybody with regulatory, because today more and more there is guidelines that helps you or not to implement some stuff. And finally, the backbone of that, of all these axes, is infrastructure. So you need to have a supercomputer like Meluxina today, like Meluxina in the AI in the future, like Meluxina Q. So you need to have an infrastructure that can exactly connect all the dots and provide that capacity to the country to innovate and to be what they ambition, a digital hub at European level.
Looking ahead, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for HPC in finance and beyond?
Well, finance, normally they have a lot of data about transactions, data about customers, data about markets. And one of the things they need to do, and they are aware of it, is that they need to take value from this data, to exploit this data. And to exploit this data, so from one side you need to have the data, but from the other side you need to have the expertise and the tools to take value from that data. And so supercomputing is exactly the tool that you can use to take that data and to run different kind of models to implement solutions or to solve problems in finance companies. Of course, that on top of it, you need to have also the expertise. And that expertise is also with LuxProvide. But let's talk now about the HPC. And so the HPC will help finance companies to look to their data and to use different kinds of models to implement use cases to solve challenges like fraud detection, or like improve customer service, or even implement processes for compliance or for regulation. So HPC is definitely a tool that can help finance institutions to implement solutions to solve their challenges. But that I could extend to all other companies, because data is something that is available in different companies, because it's the output of the business, and this data can bring definitely value to the process and to the companies.
At the beginning of a project, what indicators tell you that the project is going to have impact?
If it solves the challenge for what it was created, it has an impact on the problem. Secondly, if you are solving a problem that is helping an ecosystem, a community, or even the earth, so it's even have a bigger impact, because you solve your problem, but also you are bringing benefit and value for a wider community. LuxProvide and Meluxina are here to help companies of all sizes. So don't be shy, reach out to us.
Oh. Can we try that again?
Yes.
This one fell. You grab two.
Okay. Okay, now?